Well, my name is Tristan Krstic. I was born in Croatia, in former Yugoslavia. I'm a Belgian qualified lawyer with more than 25 years of experience here in Belgium and international law. And I'm a partner at Faber Interlegal law firm in Brussels. I work in French, in English, in Croatian and other former Yugoslavian languages, Serbian, Bosnian, Montenegrin, Slovenian, and also understand Dutch. So I can be useful for a large variety of different clients from, let's say, around Europe mostly, but also internationally from all the world, around the world. My main field of expertise is distribution and franchise law in general, but this includes actually a very large variety of aspects of law in general that can go from criminal law to actual pre-contractual requirements in strictly distribution law aspects. So my most important clients are generally franchisors who, for whom I organize almost all legal aspects of their business. And this actually includes when a franchisor comes to Belgium, pre-contractual requirements, which are very, very important here in Belgium, because if you do not respect them fully, there is a very big risk of annulment of all the contracts. So if you want to start a franchise here in Belgium, just be aware, do not start without seeing a lawyer. So what we do also a lot, we do a lot of merger and acquisition in the field directly linked to the distribution or franchise agreement. So between franchisees or also outside of franchisees, franchisor can also be sold or bought by a client. So we handle sometimes, of course, tax aspect of a merger acquisition or of a contract of franchise for both franchisors and franchisees. Real estate, of course, is essential for any franchisor and franchisee who wants to develop a business in Belgium. So this can go from a sale, rental, leasing, and other similar contracts relating to real estate here in Belgium. For the corporate and company law aspect, we also help clients in all actual fields possible, because they need to draw a state status, that they need to draw shareholder agreements. They have a lot of different aspects of their business that has to be organized in a very legal and very strict ways in order to actually enable the company and or the business to grow and to develop in the best possible way, and in order to avoid any possible risks that can, of course, be reduced by a good legal service that is rendered before and during all the life of the company. So we also handle commercial aspects of the business, commercial contracts, and all distribution that can handle or dispute that can raise from any commercial contracts. Sometimes, of course, there's a risk of bankruptcy, or that can be the bankruptcy of a business or of a contractor that is connected somehow to our client. So that can also include some litigation after bankruptcy for or against a bankruptcy litigator or administrator. So this, of course, sometimes happens when a business actually do not succeed. So this is one of the aspects of the business we do. We sometimes also help our clients in construction litigation. So this means, of course, as a franchisee has to renew, renovate, or build a store. So unfortunately, there are often some dispute that can arise from delays or from the wrongdoings from any company that is involved in the construction. Sometimes also we have criminal law, but it's more rarely, but there are some criminal law aspects that can be handled for the franchisor or franchisee. So this also we handle. Regarding litigation, and we mostly, I would say, mostly dispute resolution. That would be a more broad term. So I think this is the best part of the work I do. It includes some chess and I would say poker skills. I believe I have enough of those. So I think it's very important to anticipate the opponent's reaction in the dispute resolution and think ahead, a few moves ahead if you can. So I think this is the best way to help a client to reach the best possible solution in a dispute. I think if I go to be more thorough, sometimes, of course, they can be inheritance aspects of the business when a franchisee wants to transmit his business to the next generation. How was the best way to do it? Of course, reducing as much as possible the legal and the tax aspects of the transmission to the next generation. So I think that's more or less the presentation I can do around my business today. I'll try to be actually the most client-oriented possible. So the client-oriented approach for me is not a term, it's not something that we say, it's just an actual way of thinking, and it's a real thing for us. This means that I always try to put myself in the client's shoes and to understand or even anticipate his or her needs. The idea here is as a lawyer, one must first listen to the client's request, but also go above and beyond actually what the client says, what the client is explaining, and what the first need of the client is. Because we have to actually go above and to see the big picture that the client maybe does not see right away. Maybe the client is more focused on the actual problem, but the actual problem is part of the bigger problem that we propose to actually help the client with. So I think this is the most important job that we have, is ask questions that are much wider than the ones that the client asks us actually to help them with or help her with. So sometimes, of course, when the client wants to start a business in Belgium, we try to understand where this client comes from, where this client wants to go to. What kind of company structure can we organize with eventual shareholder agreement? We prepare different contracts. We help him throughout the business and even beyond, sometimes for a sale or a bankruptcy eventually. That of course can happen in Belgium too. If you mean litigation by cases, those will generally actually concern a dispute between franchisor and franchisee, or a distributor or an agent, or actually two companies or two individuals working in Belgium, mostly businesses. And those would actually concerning breach of contractual obligation in very broad, general way. So I also handle litigation concerning dispute between shareholders and commercial litigation. Shareholders, of course, that can be very tricky. But the idea generally is to give the best advice to a client before let's say when they start business. If we do our job correctly, then we will have the very low risk of having a litigation, because let's say we have a few businessmen that want to have start a business in Belgium. A shareholder agreement will really help to avoid litigation, or just to organize the ways out if there is a dispute between the shareholders. So, but when we don't have this possibility, the procedure can happen actually before the court. I will also represent clients to to find the best possible way and eventually go to court and exclude another shareholder or get their shares bought by another shareholder if that is the only way to handle things. So as I said, my most important clients here in Belgium are franchisors, but they are generally actually also medium-sized companies and individuals that are somehow connected to a business. Well, this is a tricky question because in Belgium, a lawyer is not allowed actually to talk and to advertise about the cases won at court. So what I can say is that I won more than I lost. But also, what is important for me is to find the best solution for the client, and the best solution for the client is not necessarily to win in court after a long and costly battle for 5-10 years, maybe more, with a lot of cost fees paid and a lot of stress, a lot of work also for the client, because if we go to court for 5-10 years, we would need the client to go back and forth many times to help us actually win the case at court. And dispute resolution, there are many different aspects of it that can be mediation, arbitration, negotiation, conciliation. There are a lot of different ways to handle a case before going to court. And so I, of course, advertise and I insist on that we try those before going to court. And it often actually works. But if we cannot succeed, then we go to court and we do what we need to do for our clients to win to win the case. When there is no other way of winning or of closing a deal, of settling in a case in dispute. What I can say also is I handle around 200 or 300, so between 200 and 300 M&A deals, mostly in the distribution sector. And I think that I have only 2 or 3 that actually led to an actual dispute after the deal. So we try to really understand the clients, and once it's signed, it's signed because everyone is happy with it. And everyone understands what it's saying. So this is, of course, very important. So to understand and to be certain that our client understands what they are signing and what we prepare them. So if this is one of the ways that we actually avoid or reduce the risk of litigation after a deal is done. Well, Global Experts has a wide international network, so this is good for me, for us, and for our clients. So we can help me to reach easily an expert lawyer abroad or even other specialists. On the other hand, of course, joining GLE puts me a bit under the spotlight, so we would be more easily reachable to expert entrepreneurs and lawyers around the world that might actually need our expertise here and services in Belgium. So this is how actually we decided to join Global Experts.